What's going on? We back, Goodfellas Sports TV. Y'all know what the business is. One time for the one time we grinding. Salute to everybody supporting the channel. Definitely appreciate it. On the push for 10,000 subs. Didn't pay for not one of them. So definitely appreciate everybody. Spread the word about the channel. Talk more than boxing. Check the archives out. Check the playlists out. NBA, NFL, the whole shebang. And giving a review for the DAZN in the United States. They kicked it off at the end of September. So it's about a 2-month review because it was the end of September. You had October, November. And I've seen every card on the DAZN that they've shown in the U.S. Now, the AJ card, I watch all of them on Sky. All right? I will not purchase the DAZN. When I use a free trial, I just refuse to do that until they show a better product or get rid of Eddie Hearn and racist Oscar De La Hoya, in my opinion. Okay? It's my opinion. But so be it. You know, the first card you had was Anthony Joshua Alexander Povetkin as a headline. I watched the headliner, didn't watch the undercard. Good fight. You know, didn't do much promotion. Didn't start promoting until like right before the fight. That was an issue. But it turned out to be a good fight. Povetkin didn't have, you know, what people thought he had left. And now told people that AJ was going to run through Povetkin. All right. Povetkin was not a problem. You go out your way to not fight Deontay Wilder, fight Alexander Povetkin. He wasn't going to be a problem. Povetkin got Nevada tested, so did AJ, so I didn't really believe it was going to be a problem. Then you go to the second fight card that had a Chicago in the she, as Eddie Hearn would say. I was not impressed with that card again, okay? Was not impressed with it. I didn't watch Vargas and Delorme because I had zero interest, but I caught Thomas Adamick and Jarrell Miller. That was a mismatch. They almost outweighed each other by 100 pounds. That was sickening. You know, to get old, Thomas Adamick got there, but they wanted to tap into the Polish community in Chicago. And a lot of us knew Chicago had a nice Polish community because Fanfara brought a lot of them guys out there. So that was the mindset behind that. Danny Roman versus McDowell, that was an okay fight. And, you know, I just wasn't interested in the card. The main event was trash. Thomas Delorme and Jesse Vargas, people say it was a competitive fight and woo, 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 woo. I'm not in boxing just to see competitive fights. I'm in boxing to see the best fight the best. And neither one of them dudes was nowhere near the best, all right? Especially you got a new platform. You're trying to draw subscribers there. If anything, that card ran subscribers off and ran fans away from the sport of boxing in the Wintrust Arena in Chicago. I was not, you know, wasn't happy about it. The Callum Johnson and Artur Beterbiev fight was a nice little barn burner, but guess what? We all knew who was going to win. You know, it wasn't like, you know, Callum Johnson was going to beat Artur Beterbiev, you know, and go do something else. I mean, he's going to get smashed by Alvarez. It just told me that Beterbiev wasn't that good to begin with. It was all hype. If anything, the DAZN exposed Beterbiev and his lack of activity. You know, that wasn't no card that nobody want to even watch for free. Why would you want to waste one of the last, you know, hot Saturdays watching that card when you can be over there? That's why I didn't watch the Delorme and Vargas main event. When I could be over there watching Khabib versus Conor McGregor card, which was phenomenal, you know. It was a phenomenal card. So, okay, that was another card. Wasn't interested. All right, another card I was looking forward to was Billy Joe Saunders taking on Demetrius Andrade. I was looking forward to that fight in particular. Billy Joe Saunders failed a drug test, so, you know, he couldn't compete. They put in an African guy who never fought outside the continent in Africa. He was an African WBO title holder. I don't know how he got that. I don't know how he became the mandatory, but he did, and it was a lackluster performance. Demetrius Andrade, like a shell of himself. The Billy Joe Saunders never got popped. You know, they never did vital testing. For sure, Demetrius Andrade would have got ran over. He would have got ran over easily. And then that card had meaningless fight, terrible fight. They had UK on UK bum bashing crime in that fight. And that card was terrible. Was terrible. Only great thing that happened that night during that card was Trill Boxing Talk interview Errol Spence about, you know, him not wanting to fight Terrence Crawford. Other than that, that was a very uneventful boxing night, October 20th. I mean, the undercard, it was terrible. You know, we were just sitting there. Serrano and Katie Taylor was a terrible fight. I thought that was going to be a decent fight. I mean, it was just terrible fight after terrible fight after terrible fight, all right? All right, and then you go Usyk and Tony Bellew fight, Usyk and Tony Bellew was a really good fight. It definitely delivered. You I can't hate on it. As far as the fight card, I just watched Tony Bellew versus Usyk. I believe I tuned in for that fight. That fight definitely delivered. But like people say about PBC, some of the first quarter PBC Fox, we already know who's gonna win. It's not competitive. That wasn't competitive. Nobody in their right mind thought that knew anything about boxing thought Tony Bellew was gonna beat Alexander Usyk. All right. Then you go this weekend in Kansas, a big plummet, a big L. All right. Terrible. Nobody showed up to that fight. Nobody showed up. October 6th to Wintrust. It looked like it. It was very, very dark. But Big Baby Miller, in another mismatch, Clarissa Shields in the mismatch. They paid her high money to come fight mismatches. Some other fight came on there. I had no interest in watching that fight card, to keep it real. I don't know. It was two guys, one guy from Kansas. Rios and Alvarez was a straight fight, but what does it mean? It don't mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. It wasn't tune up with Rios going there and going to fight for a title next. No, it didn't mean nothing. All right? And then Rosado Aries, I didn't catch it. I heard it was a robbery, and I don't want to watch a robbery. So overall, the DAZN gets a big fat F for me. F for failure. It's just a total failure. I wasn't excited about no fight cards. I think Top Rank fight cards is just as exciting as theirs that's on ESPN for free, and if I got to pay for one of their dull cards, like Jeff Horn versus Terrence Crawford undercard, they only spent like 60 or 100 grand, maybe they didn't even spend that on the undercard. I only had to pay $5 and it was on the free trial as well. So at the end of the day, I just, I'm not impressed by Disaster, Disaster Zone. It was not impressive. I'm tired of seeing a whole bunch of fights on the main event, on the main fight card, okay? It's supposed to be the equivalent of Showtime televised fight card and the ESPN televised fight card. I'm tired of seeing a whole bunch of swing fights in between fights. I just want to get to my opening televised fight, and then if you got other main fight cards on there, I want to see that, the co-main, and then I want to see the main event. I don't want to see the opening televised fight card. That's, something, okay, that's something they build up, and then a fight in between there, two bum bashes and a UK bum bash, and then another main fight they advertised in another UK bum bash or another no-name bum bash swing fight. And then we get the co-main event, and then we get the main event. No, I just want to see the fights I came to see on the televised portion, the undercard portion. Keep it the undercard. Stream that shit on Twitter. Don't be bringing these bum bashes and wasting my time. I want to see the televised portion, the main fights, while they stream it. I don't want to sit and have to wait, for a bum bash and turn away from a bum bash and fall asleep watching a meaningless fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see my problem. Listen to my problems right here. So if Eddie Hearn want to listen, I'll listen to my I don't want to see American fighters tune up and bum bash versus British fighters. I don't want to see them spend $10 a month, or I don't even want to waste memory on my TV or phone downloading this application. Now I'm talking about Maurice Hooker versus Tommy Coyle. Come on, man. We don't want to see, your UK fighters over here, getting title shots on the DAZN. That's what it boiled down to. It boiled down to Eddie Hearn using the DAZN to get his fighters, UK domestic fighters, title shots that don't deserve it. They don't deserve to be, some of them don't even deserve to be European or British champions, okay? This ain't that. Nobody want to see a whole bunch of UK bum bash. We want to see, if this is going to be a combat application, we want to see top tier upper echelon fights. You say you was going to get the Charlos, you didn't get him. You say you was going to get Mikey, you didn't get him. You say you was going to get Manny Pacquiao, you didn't get him. We don't care about AJ. If AJ ain't coming over here to fight Miller or fight Deontay Wilder, guess what? He's a non-factor on this app. Nobody knows who he is in the United States, so you got to start, publicizing them and promoting them over here. But we don't want your UK-style fight cards. Just straight up, we don't want them. Keep the UK-style undercards and fight cards to yourself. Build this as an American fight card. If you got a whole bunch of UK bum bash, put that shit on Twitter, the untelevised portion. Period. And then your main entrees, keep it there. Opening fight card, other fight, co-main, main fight. No more swing bouts in between that, man. It's a terrible product. I would never download it, man. Unless you gonna up the product, and then Canelo versus Rocky Fielding. I ain't nothing I want to see. I don't care about seeing Ryan Garcia and a bunch of them bums on there, man. Like, the DAZN get a big fat F for me for failure. Disaster Network, all right? That's what it stands for, Disaster Network. Goodfellas Sports TV. Let me know how you feel in the comment section. Don't forget me on Facebook, Twitter. Also, want to make a donation to the channel. That link's in the description. You can reach out to me in the email. That's in the description as well. I definitely appreciate everybody for holding us down, organically trying to get to 10,000. We ain't by no views, so go ahead and share the page. We